What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Stats with Evan, and welcome to the grand premiere of the Stats with Evan Game of the Week. This week we have a showdown in the Sunshine State between the Miami Hurricanes and the 8th ranked Florida Gators. Let's get it poppin'. So last season Miami went 7-6, Florida was 10-3. The Hurricanes finished 3rd in the ACC Coastal Division. The Gators were 2nd in the SEC East, behind only Georgia. For Miami, this is their only game against the SEC this season. Florida, this is their first of 2 against the ACC. They'll close out the regular season against Florida State. And last year, these two both qualified for bowl games. Miami lost to Wisconsin 35-3 in the Pinstripe Bowl. Florida beat Michigan 41-15 in the Peach Bowl. So here's what you need to know about the two teams going into today. This is the 56th all-time meeting between Miami and Florida. The Hurricanes lead the all-time series 29-26. Their last meeting was September 7, 2013, when Miami beat Florida 21-16 in Miami. The Hurricanes have won 7 of the last 8 against the Gators. This is dating all the way back to 1986. But the Gators are coming off their second 10-win season in the last 4 years. So here's the players to keep an eye on for this game. For Miami, it's the defense in general. Rather than one player to highlight for Miami, I choose to highlight their entire defense in general. The Hurricanes are rolling into 2019 with an experienced defense full of juniors and seniors, and this same defense ranked 3rd in the FBS last season. Only Southern Miss and Michigan were better. Miami looks to use this defense to dominate the ACC Coastal and possibly challenge Clemson in December. The turnover chain will be out in full force in South Beach all 13 weeks of the season. And for Florida, the name to know is CJ Henderson. As you can see, the star of the show for both sides is the defense. In Florida's case, it's 6'1" junior CJ Henderson. Henderson is ranked as one of the top prospects in the 2020 NFL Draft, and with his wingspan, it's not hard to see why. In Henderson's last game, which was the Peach Bowl against Michigan, he devoured the Wolverines to the tune of 8 tackles, including a sack. With a beast like CJ Henderson anchoring the defensive backfield, 2019 looks promising in Gainesville. So here's how Miami can win this game. The Miami Hurricanes are coming off a tough season in which they fell well short of expectations, finishing 7-6 and ending the season with a forgettable performance in the Pinstripe Bowl. Miami begins the season with an uphill climb as they start unranked and must now work their way back up to the top. The climb begins with one of their toughest tests of the season as they head to Orlando to take on Florida, the 8th ranked team in the nation. Luckily, the U has a defense that can make them a force to be reckoned with in the ACC and a turnover chain to prove it. Miami can win this game if their defense plays up to their hype, and there's a lot of hype, and their offense puts together a couple good drives. They might not need much, just a couple. So that was how Miami can win, but now let's look at how Florida can win. Expectations are high in Gainesville. The Florida Gators are coming off their first 10-win season since 2015, and now their eyes are set on making the SEC championship and possibly challenging Alabama. But first, the Gators must get past an in-state rival in Miami who they've only beaten once since the turn of the century. This could be viewed as a must-win for Florida if they want to start their college football playoff campaign on the right foot, and luckily they have one of the top prospects in the 2020 NFL Draft in CJ Henderson to help them out in the defensive backfield. Florida can win if they start fast to take Miami out of the game early to show why they're ranked in the top 10. So here's my thoughts. College football season is back, baby. Let's go! And we start with a showdown in the Sunshine State between Miami and Florida. This has all the makings of a low-scoring, grind-em-out game as both teams hang their hat on defense. Add on to this that neither team's offense particularly lights up the scoreboard, and points may be a premium in Orlando. The big difference here is that recently, Florida has done a better job of rising to the challenge in high-profile games, and I say that because they just came off a 10-win season, and Miami, they were expected to be a dark horse for the college football playoff, challenge Clemson, all that, and they finished 7-6. So this is why I say Florida has done better in the high-profile, must-win games against like notable competition. So for this reason, I'll say the Gators take this one 20-14. So who y'all got, Miami or Florida? Let me know in the comments, and before I go, there's just a couple things I want to note. Next week for week 1 proper, there will be a poll I'm putting up. And I've already picked out 4 games for next week I'm going to put in there. This poll is going to go up on my Twitter account on Monday. So look out for that. My Twitter is right here. And it's also going to be in the description. And I'm sure y'all know this shirt right now. Bowie State. Shout out to them Bulldogs. BSU! Expect to see them a lot on this channel too. Because I might be traveling with the football team and the basketball team. I'm what they like to call a road dog. So expect to see the Bulldogs and plenty of them on this channel in the future. So yeah, that's all I had to get off my chest. So until next time, I'm Stats with Evan, and I hope you have a 100% day. See y'all later.